Okay, so there's this weird chick that was basically stalking me on Flower Tower's channel. And apparently I don't get it. Why there's so many of these types of women who have such anger and issues just because they're not attractive or whatever. Or I guess they're basic or whatever. But it's just like, I constantly get like women like this who get like, this is what I mean when I say like light skinned women who I think maybe they don't think of themselves as attractive, and then they have like this automatic vitriol and like jealousy for no reason. It's like, that's what I'm talking about. I don't experience this with dark-skinned black women as much as I experience it with light-skinned black women. And then somehow these types of light skins are supposed to expect me to believe in colorism. How can I believe in colorism when you are constantly jealous of what I got? I mean, if you're light skinned and light skin is better than brown skin, then shouldn't you be happy? I keep saying this. You should be happy. But oftentimes, these type of people always seem like they're angry at other people's phenotypes, and usually people darker than them. And it's like, from my perspective, it's like, as a brown skinned black woman, I'm like, how cracked up is light skin supposed to be if light skin is jealous of people who is basically darker than light skin? You know what I mean? But no one really wants to address this. Everyone always wants to be quiet about this. This lady was like following me for, I think, a couple weeks now. And, to me, it's just like, when people get all aggressive and angry, I think it actually has to do with the fact that they feel like their features aren't as racially ambiguous, and therefore they get angry about it and jealous about it. And it's like, this is the whole reason why people want to put up certain skin tones over others. It's because they don't feel happy enough with the other racial aspects of their phenotype, be it their facial features or their hair type or whatever it is, but they're not happy with it. If you were happy with it, you wouldn't feel the need to go after other people. You wouldn't be jealous of other people who have other aspects to their phenotype that is, I guess, more passing or more phenotypically appealing to you or whatever. From my perspective, I think as a black woman, we should focus more on appreciating our African features and actually playing them up, because we are black. Just like, do you think white people and Hispanic people and Asian people get angry at another person for looking more black than them or less Asian than them or less white than them? You know what I mean? No one really does that but black people. You know, if you're a black person, shouldn't you be proud about being black and looking black? Not being upset at another person for whatever phenotype you think they have over you. Because this person literally was upset at me because she thought I looked less black than her. And she was, for some reason, really like, she had like a really hot, angry side to her and was like really upset just because of that whole situation. Personally, I think if we all just saw the ideal phenotype having to be a more ethnic phenotype rather than, you know, trying to see value in having lighter skin or having some feature that they think is different from black women, because this person specifically, supposedly another person said that they were like colorists or something against dark skinned black women. And that's what I'm saying. Many colorist black women who hate darker skin and honestly hate their own skin tone because their own skin tone is, darker than a white person. So they still feel inferior. This is why they had this vitriol among people who are lighter than them, among people who have different features than them. And that's the main reason for me why I've always said that the hate that I get generally is from lighter skinned women. I think women who have the idea of colorism and they believe in a hierarchy because they'll have one feature or another feature that they feel doesn't make them as non black, and they'll have anger towards another woman who may not even be as light skinned as them. It might be brown skinned for that matter. But the thing is, with this whole aspect, it's not a matter of really being a certain skin tone, it's actually being a certain racial background and phenotype, basically. Understand I said in phenotype. So if it's one person has more Afrocentric features and the other person has less, that's what bothers them, you know. And that's what makes them really angry, because they feel like the dark skinned black women that they basically make fun of and attack. And they make fun of these dark skinned black women not because they just feel better than dark skinned black women. That's not what this is all about. What it's about is that these people do it because they feel it makes them feel better about their blackness. And this is their way of coping with their blackness. When they see black people who look less black than them and their skin tone is darker, for example, they feel like their skin tone is meaningless, basically. And then they go back to hating their blackness. And therefore, they have more anger and issues and vitriol against black women like this. That's why, from my perspective, it's always been that I just have always felt like, colorism doesn't exist in this sense because it's like, well, if people who are lighter than you seem to put themselves in a position where they basically are of the narrative of the jealous dark skinned black woman, like they say, but instead it's the light skinned woman who's just the jealous light skinned black woman or jealous black woman, then it's like, how much does this hierarchy really exist? Or is it a coping mechanism? And honestly, it is a coping mechanism. And that's why you can tell that it's not a real thing. It can benefit people outside of the race, but it really doesn't benefit people inside the race. Inside the race, it's just a coping mechanism. It's not real. So that's all I have to say in this video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and have a great day. Bye.